Hey folks, this is Vagrant. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. In the last video, we were doing a couple of things, amongst others, trying to get our gun back from Everett Clare. Now, we had a problem in that we failed the red check, getting the signatures. I was also trying to find out where these gunshots have come from. I don't know. The boardwalk is here, right? But I haven't seen anything there. And the island, is that the island over there? That could be the island over there. God knows how I would get there, so we're going to ignore that for now anyway. The signatures, I don't know what to do. I really don't. What did it say? Get Isabel and Lillian, so it has to be Isabel and Lillian. What I was wondering, as we said in the last video, was can anyone else sign it? Can the kids sign it, for example? Children, sign these letters.
The scruffy-haired little boy.
No, we already tried this, didn't we? What about you? Children.
The scruffy-haired.
Okay. Because I don't want them to sign it. I want a way to avoid this happening. It's funny though because he's trying to build like a community centre kind of thing, right? Which is it's a good thing for the area. It's just bad for the people who happen to already live in that area. It's kind of like a greater good kind of conundrum. So I'm just going to rotate my mic slightly. You know, is it worth? Sorry, 1 second. Is it worth these two and the people in this immediate area? They suffer, but lots of other people get something great. But surely, I mean, look at the size of this area. Surely you can just build a community centre over there. Why does it have to be right here? I was watching. I've been doing a Marvel watch through lately, and I can't remember what episode. I can't remember what film it was. Was it Infinity War? It might have been Infinity War, where Cap says to Vision, "We don't trade lives, or we don't, we don't trade lives for what we're trying to do." And this kind of where I'm standing on this, and that I feel like we don't give up on the locals because of something that I want to achieve. And even if it is good for everyone else, there should be a way to do it. Then again, is that just naivety? You know what I mean? What I'm looking for is the bloody drunk people. Where are those 3 drunk guys? Maybe they can sign it instead. Also, have I? Yeah, I must have done. I can't remember where they are. I'm hoping they can sign it. And my hope is that I can give a fake signature. Like, if I give the drunkard's signature, does that count? It shouldn't do, surely. Man, I wish I hadn't failed that red check. I really wish I hadn't failed that red check. I really can't remember where they are. Aren't they usually around here? Hello, drunkies. Where are my drunk people at? I'm genuinely confused. Have they moved? They're not here. Where have they gone? Where are my drunk lads at? I think they have actually moved away. So I think if I want my gun back, I don't have a choice about what I'm going to do here. So that means I need to moralize it. I need to rationalize what I'm about to do. So the music's super loud again. The game cannot make its mind up whether it wants the music to be loud or not. I'm going to knock that down one more actually. That's better.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
I'd like you to sign the documents.
Everett and his plan for the village. I guess it does sound nice enough. He has a pen and everything.
She takes it from you, a doubtful look in her eyes, clicks it and places the tip on the paper.
Here you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I don't feel good about it.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I don't think they ever would. I'm weird with the sea in that I love being by the sea, because I grew up by the ocean. You know, I lived in the Isle of Man, and you're always by the ocean in the Isle of Man because it's so tiny. So I love the sound of the seagulls and the waves and everything. And if I could have like a little house on the sea, not on the sea itself, but by the sea, and that I could hear the waves, I would be very, very happy. I just don't want to go in the sea, you know? I want to be next to it and observe it and hear it, but I don't want to touch it. Anywho, I got Lillian's signature. Will you sign the papers now?
Lillian should let her sword make her decisions. The girl just doesn't have the head for it. Either way, I won't sign.
But you promised.
You need to check your facts, officer. I said no such thing.
True. She only said she wouldn't even consider signing before Lillian.
It was a test.
Lillian's not the only one who's too thirsty.
She wanted to see if you would do it, and if she would.
What do you have against the Union?
I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises we never planned to keep.
I know. She pulls a dark red rag out of the bucket and puts it back.
Then the poor get pushed out of their homes, and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So, no, I don't trust the fat man. And
In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everard is fat. It's that simple, and there's no change in it.
All right, suggestion. See what we can do here, and then I need to think about it before I do it anyway. Can we do anything for suggestion? This looks pretty tricky. Suggestion is nothing at the moment, right? It's purple, yeah, purple. Suggestion. Come on, I'm always very suggestive. I could be suggestive. Hello. This is my sexy suggestive voice. Oh god. All right, come on. I got +1. I think that's all I'm gonna get. Alright, this is unlikely to succeed.
our tenant, the policeman. I
It's a white
hope
check,
the
though,
waves
so-
don't
Huh?
keep you up at...
Logic
Oh.
and reason won't work on this old bat. Better go for shameless emotional manipulation. What's the grandmother's deepest vulnerability?
If I thought there was another way, I would find another way, but I don't know. I don't think there is. I think this is my last chance saloon to get my gun back. Oh, but that's hurting people for my own sake, and that really doesn't sit well with me. I'm a terrible capitalist. No, right, okay. Let's just think about this. It is good for the area long term. A new community centre is good for the area. It is, right? As long as Everard is legit on that case. And I do think Everard cares. I do think he cares about the working people. I just think, you know, people are multifaceted. People aren't black and white. He cares about the locals and he cares about the working class, but he's also looking out for himself. He's skimming a little off the top. But the community centre would be a good thing. The whole area is dilapidated and falling to pieces. So maybe if there's a big new community area with new shops and stuff like that as well, maybe it could rebirth the whole area and lead to much better things for the people in the area. What I want is a way to kind of have this happen and for the current tenants to be looked after afterwards. But clearly that's not the case. But at the end of the day, if they get bought out, they can just buy a new house. But they're not getting bought out, they're getting forced out. Bah! What's going to happen to Lillian's kids, the twins and little Lily?
What do you mean? What's going to happen? We are gonna grow up, of course. I raised my own kids in this village and they are doing fine for themselves.
What drunks? They're not here! Did they end up like the moribund alcoholics?
No, they are good kids. I brought them up the right way.
Are they here now?
No, they moved to Faubourg for work.
And what do you think Lillian's kids are going to do when they grow up?
Well, I imagine they'll grow up and leave too.
You've got her. Now just reel her in.
And then what? And then you and Lillian die, and the area just goes abandoned entirely.
Then,
The old woman exhales. She stares at the ground, unable to finish the thought.
You have her. Now twist the knife.
Look, the village isn't what it used to be. It's a dilapidated shithole. It seems harsh, but half light. I'm going to trust you.
you watch your tongue, boy. This village has held up much better than some people.
Even with her cataracts, she can pierce right through you.
Damn, that's cold.
Not wrong, though.
That doesn't mean you're wrong, though. This place ain't what it used to be. Even I can see that. I don't believe the Fat Man's Youth Center is going to change anything. But what other choice do we have? It's not like the coalition government is coming to save us. I won't be around much longer anyway. Not with the dampness in my bones. If they want to take a chance, who am I to stop them? Did you say something?
You start by signing these papers.
Reluctantly, she takes the pen from your hand, scribbles her name on the line, and hands everything back to you.
See that you didn't just get us all screwed. I might be half blind, but I have a good memory for treachery.
Let's go mail it.
He's not dissatisfied with you, but with himself.
About the document you signed, Everett plans to muscle you out with construction noise.
Huh? I like to see him try. If anything, I am gonna muscle him out with construction noise.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Get out of here, trying to ruin my day. And that youth center better be a good one, or you'll have trouble from me.
Trouble how?
I wield an army of drunks. Do not underestimate the effect of such a force, if it's pointed to the right direction.
You know what, she's made me... I don't think she meant to, but she's made me feel a little bit better. Just because I do have a lot of faith in her ability to muscle out... What was I wearing? It wasn't that. Huh? I have quite a lot of faith in her ability to to fight back against Everett. Let's go put the letter in the mailbox. I'm not happy about this situation, but I will justify it in my mind. At the end of the day, there seems to be only 2 people and the kids who actively live here. It's tricky because I don't trust Everett necessarily, but if the youth centre does get built, it's probably for the best overall. But I just think I'm not really. It's hard to justify because on one hand, for the greater good, makes a lot of sense. You know, if something has to be built and it's going to cause problems for a couple of people, and like if 2 households have to move, and the reward is, hello bench person, are you new? Who are you, bench person? Can't remember bench person.
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man?
Oh, where'd he go? Where'd Pierre go? God, things have changed on day 5. Everyone's moved. You know, if it restores the area and sorts it all out, and it's not just like a drunken hellhole, that's a good thing, right? But what is the limit of the price you have to pay? Isn't there always a better way than to make the people who currently live there having to suffer? I don't know.
Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Where's Renee?
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
Is he dead?
Hell, most likely. He was an absolute Kent.
He's dead. How did he die?
His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is.
Did he feel like he has to prove he can still pull his weight? Doesn't need handouts?
Yes, he was about to head home, 'cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the Kuketu uniform I saw him in all the time.
Dangers of capitalism right here. People put too much into their work. Like, it's cool if you enjoy your job, and if you're passionate about what you do, and you know you're ambitious and you want to do well in your work. That's a good. I approve of that. I feel that very strongly myself. But you'll see comments from people who are like, oh, the 20s is for grinding the hell out of your job. Forget socializing and stuff. Just work, and set yourself up for life and stuff like that. And I just don't get it. You get one life, you know? Like, yeah, maybe you'd have a slightly more comfortable time in your 60s or something because you ground the hell out of the previous 40 years. But is that really worth it? I don't know. It's easy for me to say because I have quite a... I'm very fortunate in that my job does not require all the time in the world. And yeah, I do okay for myself. Not fantastic, but I do okay. But I don't know. It's just... There has to be more to life. There has to be. Like, otherwise... I think people regret it. No one sits on their deathbed wishing they'd worked more. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him. Suppose he's gonna be buried without it.
Do you think our conversation about his job pushed him to go out there?
No. René was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing you or I could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable.
The most stubborn man in Revachol. I'm making a reference, but I don't know what to.
He has doubts. But right now, he just wants to move on and not think about it.
Was he really that bad?
I repeat, an absolute cunt. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids, and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to.
Did you love him?
We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that...
He falls silent and looks at you, eyes filling up with tears.
Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were?
Tell me.
In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that.
You know what happened to his medals?
I took them for myself. Took them to remember that old cunt. Nobody knew him better than I did. And I want to remember that old cunt by something.
He's found a new favourite word.
Strange how old cunt sounds almost gentle when he says it now.
Something to remember your friend by, given the photograph of Renee and the girl.
Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young René looked so happy, and Jenny...
Eyes blurry with tears, he has to stop.
I'm sorry, officer. I just... Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me.
Memorabilia is a fantastic pronunciation.
That was nice. A small thing for us, but invaluable to him. He probably didn't even know René had the photo.
I offer my sincere condolences.
Yes. We are both very sorry for your loss.
It is what it is. Part of life, really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone. I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something.
What do you know about the dead man? It's not Renee, right? It's the guy on the boardwalk.
Everything, really. I probably knew him better than... You meant the teacup in the tree, didn't you? I don't know anything about him.
Teacup? Oh, because of the ceramic armor. Clever.
Not the boardwalk guy, the street guy. Lots of dead men. 3 dead men. I'm a little think. I'm not sure what I'm thinking about, but I'm definitely thinking about something. Alright, let's post this godforsaken letter.
The mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
I knew we'd use it for something eventually.
Yes, for sending mail.
Alright, Kim, shut up. Drop the white envelope into the mailbox.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters.
Ugh.
About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon.
Let's go back to Vagrant. This better be worth it after what we did.
I know, buddy. Well, none of us feel good about it, alright? It is what it is. I'm going to nip by the shop. I'm a little low on healing items, so I'm going to grab some new ones. I'm not really spending our money on anything, so... Is it this one or is it that one? I think it's this one.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with...
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste. Okay, here. I hope Saint... Okay, here.
Cheers. Now I'm stocked up. I should be done for like the rest of the game now, I guess. With 8, that's bloody loads. Right, let's go see Everett. What am I doing? What are my other tasks? Oh, wait, don't I have to find... I gotta talk to Titus. Oh, I forgot about the boy. We'll have to go get that as well. I don't think I can do this yet. Can I do this? Because I've washed the jacket and maybe he's not left. Maybe I just couldn't find him. Maybe he's still there. Maybe they've moved. Or maybe I just missed the area. I don't know. I wish this wasn't such a bloody trek. Like, if this bloody fast travel worked, it would be fine. Because I'd go see Everett and then just fast travel my way back to the west, which is where I want to go after this. Instead, we're on this massive freaking journey. But I gotta get my gun. I guess it's not that far in reality. It just feels like a really long distance. And I know how much Kitsuragi hates cardio, so I'm looking after my buddy, you know? Everett, my man. You better... I know what you're trying to do here, but that old woman's gonna give you a fight, okay?
Mr. Dubois, every worker, member of the board. How can I help you today?
Mail the signatures.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this. My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a future and proven to be a true man of the left. I can finally trust you now.
I'm not sure pushing out local, hard-working, working-class people for you to build a shiny new youth centre counts as the left, but whatever.
You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
I don't know. Your dirty forgery fingers aren't sure if playing this one straight was the right thing to do.
And I tried interfacing. I tried.
We would have preferred trickery, but the choice was yours, sire. As always. You are the liege, and you're in.
I would have also preferred trickery. Why are you bullying me about this?
Finally. Answers. Ask away, sir.
I know you plan to force them out of construction noise.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it. Reset! I have big plans for Martinez. And they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
I feel dirty. This isn't your choice. I don't care. I don't give a damn about what your plans are. People have chosen to live in the pig sheds, alright? So they deserve to live in the pig sheds.
Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex. Employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
Low-income housing, part of that's true.
I accept your salute, Harry. All of it is true. I've got the centre, I've got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years I'll get the church too. The wheels are turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
If it's all true, then it's probably a worthy sacrifice to make. My two main problems with it are, A, I don't believe it necessarily, and B, it isn't my place to make that choice for other people. You know what I mean? If people want to go and live in the dirt and play with feces, then that's their own bloody right, you know? It's all well and people. This is how people talk about gentrification all the time. At the end of the day, what gentrification does is push out the people who lived in those places. Now, I don't understand it too much personally because I don't really get attached to places. I move all the time anyway. So if I got pushed out, I'd be like, yeah, fine, I'll just fuck off somewhere else. It's not a big deal. But these people have lived there for a really long time.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain.
I do think he cares, I just think he's overzealous.
The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that. And then there will be a giant statue of him towering above it all.
You're up to something.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
A true flash of anger in him as he thinks of her.
You can't make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier, because then they'd... People always think this, right? People have a go at, like, politicians and stuff like that, and especially when it comes to right-wing politics, I have a different view on this, but people talk about left-wing politicians skimming off the top and being corrupt and all this kind of jazz, like Ev Rockler. And people always say, these damn politicians, you know, if I was in power, I wouldn't do this, yada, yada, yada. Do you not think that every single politician on the planet grows up thinking, I wouldn't do that, I'd be one of the good ones? Everybody thinks that, and then 95% of them get into power, and suddenly, whoop, all out the window. It's very cliche to say power corrupts, but power absolutely corrupts. It really does. Nobody grows up thinking that they're going to be corrupt. I'm sure some do, but it's a very low percentage, and yet the percentage of people who are corrupt in positions of power goes up a lot more. As soon as you give the working class people all this money, they become that which they sought to destroy in the first place, and they subjugate the people below them. There's always a hierarchy in capitalism. It cannot be avoided. Anyways, did you order the hanged man killed?
Order it? You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
I'm not asking him why he's so fat. What do you gain from being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
They're trained military people. Aren't you afraid for your men?
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1. And that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
How is this connected to the strike?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance.
That's a saying. What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Actually, no, it's not.
I think it is. Why are you telling me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
So that's very ominous. Who killed the hanged man?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
He really doesn't know. A guy, huh?
How do you know it's a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
He really doesn't.
How many of you guys are there in the Union?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
2,373. is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol. And they're all well motivated, at least the ones you've seen.
How are you going to fund your new independent harbour?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
You can't possibly hope to continue like you have. Clients will leave en masse.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
Drugs and sex. Rock and roll.
That's drugs.
Yeah, there we go.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
We're not digging it at all. That's just the top of the iceberg, isn't it, buddy?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column. We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed, and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperazole.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperazole is used to treat severe psychosis.
They're big on the apricots, aren't they? Maybe it's more of a thing elsewhere. I don't interact with apricots very much in my life. Must be sad. Maybe they're out of season.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidon.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
I have several problems here. Okay. Two main issues standing out. First of all, what he's just said. Like, they're clearly planning to run drugs, right? Not necessarily drugs, but they're going to sell en masse, as they say, the ingredients for drugs. Products that other shipping companies won't touch because of the illegality and the ethics of the whole thing and the optics, etc. It's going to be a large-scale legal drug trade, essentially. Kind of in the way that... so back when I was in university, there was a fertilizer that got a street name MCAT. I don't know what the official name is. But it was a fertilizer. You could buy it legally, completely fine. And drug companies, or people interested in making lots of money from drugs, started to ship loads of it because you could take MCAT and it would have the effects, of ecstasy and all these other drugs. It would get you absolutely wasted, hammered, smashed, high, etc., etc. It was a wild time. This MCAT was flowing in the universities, and it didn't last long because the government caught onto it and they made it illegal. But the point is, for a long time, it was basically the same idea. And I'm sure people in charge of it wash their hands of it, saying, we're just shipping fertilizer. If they want to make drugs out of it, if they want to get high off it, that's their prerogative, but it's not on us. This kind of hand-waving, detaching yourself from the morality of what you're doing really doesn't sit well for me. It's kind of like trafficking guns or selling weapons and stuff like that. You can go, well, I'm just selling the weapons. What they do with it is their own business. Yeah, but you're not. You're not detached from it. You're providing what they're using. And then people say, oh, if I don't do it, someone else would do it. Yeah, and they'd be immoral as well. Like, you can't... It doesn't work. The other problem I have... Look, I'm all for worker rights and for the people and all this kind of jazz, but their idea is to literally overthrow a company, including the deaths of company members, or at least the company people that the company hires, and take control of the business for themselves. And that's a far cry from we want better rights, we want better pay, etc., etc. You can't just steal someone else's company because you want better rights for your workers. right? That's a whole new level. That is too far in that direction for myself personally. It's not your stuff. You didn't earn it. You didn't do anything. You're just stealing it for yourself and looking after your own, which feels illegal. Is Ruby helping you secure this fantastic share?
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
No, see, I hate that. Well put together plan far removed from you.
It's also far removed from my men and the people of Martinez who've put their trust in me. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbour's turnover, just like the harbour is, but a small part of Martinez.
Still be illegal.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm going to unite them all into one economic body. We're going to incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's going to be in on the wealth. And everyone's going to pull their weight.
I don't like any of these answers. I'm not feeling a lot of Revachol here, not enough flags or kings.
Harry, the future I have in store for Martinez will have all the macho aesthetics you love so much. The crowns, the guns. I will even slip in a skull and bones for you, my friend.
Nice.
Oh yeah, skull and bones. Skull and bones on the Revacholian flag. The Revacholian Death Squad. Oh yeah, the visual image has completely bedazzled you. You're 100% with Everard now.
No, I'm not. You don't tell me what I am. Can I ask you about specific union members?
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry.
Everard, man, I just want to solve a frickin' murder.
You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big-time mode, Harry.
Can I get my gun now?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me. But it had to be done.
Where is it?
An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character. So watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
Oh, goody. The gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway, the neighbours of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
She was waving it around at people.
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
Pigs was the thing growing up. Less so, we were big on the popo. Popo was the word we used for the police when I was a kid. I think a lot of that will depend on your upbringing, right? I think for a lot of middle-class people, you probably just... It's just the police, right? Then again, I think even middle-class kids probably rebel to some extent. I've got to imagine... And this isn't me trying to be judgmental, but my audience, you folks at home, especially on the other channel, where it's all dinosaur nerds, probably didn't tend towards social delinquency. Would that be, I think that's fair to say. I'm not saying nobody did, but I would imagine it leans away from that scale. Like, the people I hung around with as a kid are not now watching dinosaur games or watching me play this game. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it'll be a low percentage is what I'm saying. So it's funny to think about, actually, because I grew up in quite a working class area and had quite a working class upbringing, and we were in a crew and we used to go have fights and kind of like battle with the local kids from we were in Penritham, and there's an area next door called Lostock Hall, and basically if kids from Lostock Hall came to Penritham, they had to be kicked out. And likewise, I'm not saying this is a good thing. This is stupid, childish games. People got hurt, but it is what it was. So what I'm wondering is the pigs and the popo and that kind of slightly derogatory terms for the police, or even having to have a nickname for the police in the first place, is that something that's more linked to my upbringing and that sort of more working class upbringing? Or is it something that everyone goes through? I have no idea. I only have my own experiences at the end of the day. I could be entirely off base here. Anywho, set up a meeting.
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
It's interesting that it's the pigs, plural.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
So much to do.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Suddenly the sadness in his tone.
This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
Alright. Well, 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to get our gun back. I don't really. We can go check out the boy and talk to Titus. And talk to Gart. Okay, there's a few things we can do, actually. We can do all this. I'm not scared about talking to Gart because that's main quest stuff. I get the feeling like you don't need to get your gun. I feel like it's a bit of a side quest to an extent, so I'm a little apprehensive to do it because I don't want to push the story too far. Anyways, what are we going to level? I don't trust any of these, is the problem. I really don't. I'm tempted by physical instrument because we still need to lift that bloody thing in there. So what's my physical instrument at the moment? 5. Let's go 6. Gotta get hench. I finally started working out again. I'm not that far ahead, by the way. You folks are probably only a week or so behind in this series. Obviously I had the tooth thing lately, so I'm still not back to normal. I'm still having to take painkillers. I've still got a bit of a headache, and it's been 10 days, so slight concern there. But it's definitely nothing too bad. And I think it can take 2 or 3 weeks for the pain to cure entirely. I do think I've avoided dry socket. I'm still being careful. I'm still not chewing with my left side, for example. I just want to see if there's anything going on here.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads René Arnaud. René left his uniform neatly folded on the table. Take it. It's just there. Who cares? It's not like anyone's gonna need it. Generally speaking, it would be dishonorable to take it. But then, it looks like a military uniform, and wearing that is very honorable. So, a conflict of honor, it's up to you.
This is an interesting point, because there's no reason not to take it. Really. You know, like I said, no one else is going to take it. No one else is going to use it. It's just going to sit there. But how do I feel about it as a person? Steal a dead man's clothes. I don't think I feel great about that. But it's an interesting thing because I was thinking about this the other day, about death. Sorry, potential trigger warnings here for those people who are a little sensitive to the idea of death and suicide, etc. I was just thinking, there's a song I really like called "I Just Want to Sell at My Funeral" by the Wonder Years, and it's about what it says. You know, I want to sell at my funeral, I want to leave my mark, etc., etc. And I think we all do. I think we all have this drive to be remembered, and we want to leave our mark on the world. We want to have an impact. I definitely do. I deeply feel that. But logically, that doesn't really make sense because you don't care. You're dead. Like, it doesn't mean any. As soon as you're dead, like, I mean, it depends. If you believe in an afterlife or anything of that sort, then this is a whole different thing. But for me personally, who believes that when you're dead, you're dead. I don't believe in heaven or hell or any form of afterlife. I think once you're gone, you're gone. There's nothingness, which is like an impossible concept to wrap my head around. Don't get me wrong. You can't imagine nothingness until you experience it, and then you can't experience it because you're dead. But you don't care. You're gone. Whether you leave a mark or not, whatever people say about you, whatever you're remembered for, none of it matters. Like, you always think, oh, it'd be nice, you know, if people are still talking about me in the future. It'd be nice if I'm remembered for something. But that is only nice whilst you're alive. That's the thing. Being remembered whilst you're dead is only a positive whilst you're still alive. Because when you're dead, you don't care anymore. And it just doesn't matter in any real way. And yet emotionally, we still feel it. Logically, it makes zero sense whatsoever, but emotionally, we feel it. So logically here, at the end of the day, he's dead. He does not care if I take his uniform. Nobody else cares if I take the uniform. And yet it still feels like a weird thing to do. We feel like we have to honour the dead and we have to pay respect to the dead, even if the dead don't give a damn about that. I'm going to take it.
I suppose René is not going to be needing it anymore. It's a bit too colorful for my taste, though.
Done here.
Fantastic. Try not to wear it with other similarly colorful clothes, okay?
I expected... One of my concerns was Interrogate getting really annoyed with me, so I'm glad he remained relatively chill. Oh, reaction speed. I'm going to put this on because there seems to be something going on here. Revacholian nationhood. I imagine the game will now talk to me about this. Yep, there we go.
Wow, this jacket makes you feel strong. As if your blood is mixing with that of the venerable Philippian loyalists of old.
Does my blood need mixing?
Apologies. You're right. The need for a strong central government has always been clear to you. You're a true patriot of Revachol, born to do it. It's time to clean up the streets and restore the city to its former glory. Whether you like it or not, this jacket gives you serious nationalist cred. It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
Brota? What are you on about?
Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow.
Vows?
The vows are blood and flesh.
Is this a physical... Why is it endurance that's talking to me, though? What are you talking about?
Lower intestine. The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
Okay, I don't think I want to be a fascist. But let's go through the process. What is fascism, though?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revachol's problems?
Financiers.
Yes, them. But also women.
Women?
Women. Men of war.
Oh.
You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
I don't feel good about this.
That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
I want to talk about this as well. I've had a few comments from people, totally understandable comments, talking about like a couple of things I've missed along the way, sort of gameplay or conversations and stuff like that, that I haven't explored up till this point. Because I've not clicked on certain conversational options. I am, generally speaking, trying to play as I would play. I try when I play an RPG game in particular, anything with multiple storylines and pathways and character building, etc., etc. I try not to gamify the game. I don't want to pick something because I think it'll get me a better outcome. I don't want to pick something because I think that's what the game wants me to do. I want to pick something that feels natural to my character that I've built and also natural to myself as a person. I tend to try to align with my own politics and my own philosophies. So I'm not going... If I don't think something fits, I'm not going to force it. If I think it's something my character wouldn't do, I'm not going to do it just to see what the options are. And that, of course, does mean I'm going to miss out on some things, but I think it makes for a more holistic approach to the game. You see what I'm saying? Am I having some kind of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
It's because of the jacket.
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you've said them many times.
Fascism sounds so bad, though. What if we called it something else like traditionalism? This is a very good downtaking of fascism, because this is what people do. Every time you see those, it's always people on Twitter with a frickin'... It's always like a piece of old art, like an old sculpture as their profile picture every single time. And it's all this stuff about wanting the nuclear family back and all this individuality in the countries and stuff. And it's kind of the testing of globalization. And they're really just covering up their own racism and sexism, etc.
Okay, yes. Let's call it that. Good thinking.
Kitsuragi's just standing there while I think about fascism.
That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that?
Yeah, it sounds good and friendly. Like, traditions are a good thing, right? We like traditions. I like my traditions. You know, everyone likes having traditions. But then traditionalism becomes, oh, nuclear families only, and oh, women in the kitchen. Oh, you know, all this kind of nonsense, and then that gets worse and worse and worse, and suddenly, like, life did not used to be better, okay? If you think, oh, I would have much preferred to live in the 50s or 60s, it's because you're white and middle class, okay? Let's just get that out there right now. That's just the way it is. Because life was not better for, like, the majority of people. And people who... What's the word I'm looking for here? I can't think of a nice word. People who buff up, people who long for the good old days, either weren't alive in the good old days, or they're longing for some nonsense. It's okay to want a couple of things. You know, I want to go to a diner and have a milkshake with a girl from school. That sounds nice, but you can still do that anyway. You know, there are benefits to a life before phones and pervasive internet and all that kind of jazz. I don't deny that, but if it's a general longing to return to that time, gotta think, okay, yeah, sure, it'd be nice to live in the 50s and experience it, but also, everyone's a fucking racist, so you know what I mean? Not necessarily, but you know what I mean. Especially the further back you go, the worse and worse it gets. Oh, women have no rights, but okay, as long as you're okay, middle-aged straight male. You know, oh, if you're gay, you can't get married, but that doesn't matter because you're middle-aged and straight and white and male. So, you see what I'm saying? Some traditions are okay. Some are best left in history. Anyways, made up my mind about fascism.
You're going to keep your vooz, right? Keep your vooz, Brota.
I am not.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
So that is actually a prime example of what I was just talking about. In that, I could have clicked the other option, opted in, and all I would have gained was a thought, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it would have been. That's what it has been in the past. It's a thought thing that you think through and you get like a bonus, blah, blah, blah. One of these things, right? I'm pretty sure I would have got the fascist one. So that's just extra content, really. I probably don't lose anything by doing that. I probably don't eliminate other options by doing that. However, I'm not a fascist. My character has not shown fascist tendencies as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not going to click it for the sake of seeing that content because it doesn't feel right. And I'd rather... I mean, I'm not going to say my character's been wholly consistent and there's just things I wish I'd done differently, but it's still the general idea. We have a lot of time to kill today. I know we can read a book if we want to kill time, but... I want to confront Titus, but let's sort the guard first.
Ah, smallest church in Saint-Saëns, right?
Told you I'd fuck that shit.
It was all right. Subdued. I might start letting people up there again. Now, what can I do for you?
Is this going to lead me where I want to lead? I saw a thing at the Whirling.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Wait, what was I meant to be talking about? Because it doesn't look like any of this. The Doomed Hostel. Alright, well, what if I told you I got into the back room?
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear you make noise back there, so good for you.
Thanks.
It takes a lot of willpower not to ask. Obviously, he's been wanting to know what's behind the door.
Are you going to ask me what's back there?
Okay, what is back there?
Skeletons. A mausoleum of the dead. Nothing. The black gaping maw at the end of time. Both entertaining, but again, not something I would say. Maybe I would. See, that's the tricky thing. There's been a slight split between me and my character in that I have to imagine not just what I would say personally, but what I would say if I was trying to be a detective. I think I would up my professionalism accordingly. Me at the moment, as a YouTuber, I would be tempted to say something like that, something slightly ridiculous. But the character I've built, which is both myself and I've completely forgot my character's name, Harry. It's kind of a fusion of it. It's not just me, it's not just Harry, it's kind of both of us, you know what I mean? Pinball machines.
I knew it. I've always wondered where those machines by the door came from. And they told me there was some kind of pinball thing here too. I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean.
Didn't check, pinball stupid. you want to play?
No, I was just wondering if you found pinball machines there.
Why don't you want to play with me, Gart?
He was wondering about something business related, about how much money he could make of one.
If you're thinking of selling those pinball machines, I want a fat cut, C-suite shit. I'm a disruptor. Turning the place back into a pinball arcade.
No, but we could diversify the entertainment options, seeing as you've opened the door back there. The machine we have in the corner now is broken.
Yeah, they're all broken back there as well.
It wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here, other than the hellish karaoke machine. That one's always causing trouble.
Well, until I rocked it anyway.
Yeah, those numbers he's adding up must be making good sense to him right now. Sounds like he cares about the place. He's not going to be overjoyed to hear that it's part of the doomed commercial area. He should still know. You have to be forewarned about these things.
I have to warn you, I may have discovered that the Whirling is part of the doomed commercial area.
What? Why would you say that? We're at a completely different address from that whole thing.
This is the kind of thing I would personally just not care about. You can't have a doomed area, curses aren't real, yada yada yada.
So he knows of the doomed commercial area and its address. He's thought about this.
You know of the curse?
Everyone knows of it.
The Whirling is listed on the intercom outside as one of the businesses in Building B. You should get your wiring fixed. I tried to call and couldn't reach you.
I've been working here for a long time, and that intercom has never been used by the Whirling.
The Whirling was once the East Delta Pinball Arcade, which failed, though perhaps the Whirling will escape the curse.
Does this look like part of a doomed commercial area? This pre-revolutionary tilework? These high ceilings, the nice rooms, well, most of the rooms. For 14 years, man. That's how long I've worked here. I've kept this place up through hail and through sleet. Fuck me, some doom ghost.
He steadies his voice.
He's done a fine job too. Though he's spoken of the place dismissively before, the hostel is actually very important to him.
You really care about the Whirling, huh?
Yeah, it's slowly growing on me again. It's beautiful in its own way. Especially for this neighborhood. I've been trying to keep it that way.
It is actually quite nice. Again, it's an aesthetic I'm quite into.
Even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area.
You shouldn't be worried about that label, you know?
I don't place much stock in the curse and so on, but the label frightens the clientele. Who wants to stay at a doomed hostel? Everything's doomed enough without that.
Who owns this place?
Some real estate management company. They never come around here, just collect money from afar. Honestly, I think some money laundering might be involved.
He's definitely warmed up to me a little, hasn't he? Who named it Whirling and Rags?
Well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
Oh, yeah.
It was you?
You look surprised. What? It's a great name, I know. Cafeteria managers come up with great names too. It's from a song.
A song?
Hail, Holy Queen, by the Ateneers. Hail, Holy Queen of the Sea. You're whirling in rags, you're vast and you're sad.
Good pick.
I like it. What about those other cafeterias you manage?
What about them? One is a basement dive frequented by chain-smoking communists. I can't tell you how sick I am of Kraz Mazov and Ignis Nielsen and all those old ghosts.
He's hesitating, not sure if he should share this information with you. Encourage him.
And the others?
The other is a kebab cart. It's very successful in its way, but it's nothing like the Whirling.
Too bad it's all doomed. See you later. Good luck to you with this place, then.
Luck has got nothing to do with it. I need to think about where I'm going to place those pinballs. I have a feeling they're going to help.
Against the doom, it's implied.
So, if you didn't have anything else to tell me about my establishment, can we, wrap it up?
God, I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
I have a search warrant. There may be something pertinent to the investigation.
He wasn't pan-fried. He was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
Okay. There's a peephole in the wall.
What wall?
Upstairs in a secret back room right next to Clarge's bedroom. I found it when I found the pinball machines.
I'll have it fixed at once. Thank you for letting me know. I assure you, the Whirling does not abide spying on its guests.
I don't know. I feel like most cheap motels probably spy on their guests.
What a shame. to fix such a good peephole.
Can you keep the hole there? What if there are some hotties staying in that room? Wink. No, we're not doing that. Maybe someone on the staff was curious.
No, we don't hire staff like that. Thank you for letting me know, and it will be taken care of as soon as possible.
Alright, God, cheers.
Thank you. I'll patch it up personally. Was there something else about the establishment? I hope not.
I'm not gonna tell him about Class J, I don't think. I ain't no snitch.
Yes?
Bye-bye. Alright, another one on the done list. Look at this, look at this. Look how little there is to do. So we have to go talk to Titus. Fully explored the whirling. See, I can go into the kitchen, so I don't know what this means. Because the kitchen's there. Wait. Oh, that's a pinball machine. We'll talk to Titus next video. And then we'll go check out the boy. Maybe I should go get the... Ruby was the organizer of the hanging. She's also missing, but the Hardy Boys will be tight-lipped about her location. You need to get them to open up. Have you fully explored the whirling? Yes. Analyzed the site of the murder? Yes. Truly and thoroughly interrogated Claus J? No, because I haven't done this. So I want to do that first. All this to make convincing them easier. I have a lot of good cop, bad cop. People killed 3. How have I killed 3 people? I haven't killed anyone. Oh, people killed total, so yeah, it's... Well, no. Cases solved 206. Oh, wait, no, this is overall. Right, okay, I see that now. Sorry cop, boring cop, yeah. Superstar cop a little bit. You know, it's getting there. Communist, way higher than the others. Fascist is the lowest I've got. Moralist, ultra-liberal, communist. Don't know which I would lean personally. Ultra-liberal? I'm surprised I've gone quite as communist as I have, admittedly. Right, so next video, we'll inspect the boy. Which I hate as a word, because I want to say boy. We'll do that. And then we'll come back and talk to Titus. Check if we can find Doom Spiral while we're there again. And then we'll confront the pigs at 10 o'clock. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan. Until then, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Cheers, much as always. Bye-bye. No, end. Stop.